Perfect. Sounds good. Well, thank you for the opportunity and welcome everybody. My name is Preet Saini. I am the co-founder of Catering Rewards, and I'm also an operator, restaurant operator. I run McAllister's Deli in Phoenix area. And today we're going to be talking about demand generation. Basically, the goal of this presentation is we're going to talk about how to generate demand for catering orders, specifically from new and existing customers. So getting right into the agenda, uh, we're going to cover why catering and why now. I think many of you might be aware, but going to cover some basics. What is important to catering customers? Something pretty unique. I think everybody, some of us are aware, but some of us is good. It'll be important to drive home the point. Overview of demand generation tactics. We're going to go into 4 specific channels, and then in the end, a high-level discussion about the constant debate about where should your resources be spent, acquisition or retention. With that, I'm going to go into why catering and why now. So we are all aware of inflation. It is squeezing the regular customer. But not the business diners. The business diners are less cost sensitive because they want to invest in food for work, and that's the area of catering that we are focusing on. And why they want to invest constantly in food for work is to either build culture within the organization or build relationship with their clients, like for example, pharmaceutical reps. So it is extremely important for restaurants to focus on this new growth avenue, which is catering. I'm sorry, are you guys able to see my screen? I'm seeing a lot of here.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. All right. Okay. So here's an example of a company that is recently announced to invest in catering. Chipotle recently announced that since their sales were stagnating, they are going to focus on catering channel, which is about 1.5% of their total sales without any marketing. So big guys, small guys, everybody's focused on catering for a lot of these reasons, specific reasons. So switching to, we know that why catering is important. We also understand who are our top customers: the farmer reps, executive assistants, admins, sports coaches, department managers, like for training and ops. But it's also important to understand the basics of what is important to them. And there are 4 things that are important to them. The first one, the basic one, is food quality and quantity. The second is punctual delivery, not too early, not too late. This is extremely important because their contracts, their image, their work, their reputation depends on this. And that is also why consistent communication is important. If you're getting late, if you're on time, hey, driver has left, we got everything. Did you need anything else? That constant communication. I know of a couple of operators who constantly and consistently communicate for every catering order with their customer. And obviously, where applicable, food presentation. These 4 buckets are so important, so much so that one of the marketplaces has this as a criteria for feedback. Is it a good feedback? Is it a negative feedback based on these 4 criteria? So besides this, what else? So considering this is table stakes, what else is important? Do incentives play an important part? Are catering incentives important? Can you use catering incentives for demand generation, whether it's for acquisition or for retention, aka loyalty? So let's look at that. 69%, here's a stat, 69% of customers are more inclined to give a new brand a try if you offer incentive. You can see this all over, especially in catering world. If you go onto different forums, executive assistants talking about that. I love earning points, Amazon points. Easy Heater gives them, many other marketplaces are trying to do it. These points are enough to cover my kids' graduation party. In fact, I spoke with one of my customer who used to order directly from me for a very long time, switched to marketplace, and I kind of asked why. She's like, this pays for my vacation. I used to hate my job. Now I do it with a smile because of these points. These points are incentivized to benefit, right? So all this to say incentives are important. But what kind of incentives? There's a, it's important to understand the right kind of incentives for catering customers. Oftentimes we think if I give discount or if I give my restaurant's gift card, that should be enough. But catering customers want something as good as cash. Not to, this does not mean that if you offer them discount, it's not good, but the incentive is different. When you offer the same incentive to your walk-in customer or to a customer who's placing an order from your website, the same exact incentive you're offering to and same amount of points or point system you're offering to your catering customer, it does not produce same results. They also want to be rewarded for loyalty, but in a different way. So here's an example. If you offer a 25% off your entire catering order, or offer somebody, hey, you're going to earn up to 6% cash back on every order, and maybe give them an incentive to sign up and place a first order with you. Which one do you think is going to be more attractive to the customer? So an Amazon gift card of $30 versus one-time offer of 25%, or an ongoing, also on top of that, ongoing cashback reward. So they look at things differently. That's why it's important to understand that besides that, an incentive is an important part of the game. Having those basics aside, let's talk about how and what channels, avenues you can invest in generating demand for catering. Picking the right channels and using some sort of incentive, whether it's percent off, whether it's points, reward points, whatever you have going, would be important to leverage that. So besides before getting deeper into those four channels, why focus on demand generation? What's the big deal about demand generation? In essence, at a high level, it looks pretty straightforward. I'll get orders, good for business. But if you look at more strategically in a broader sense, when you are proactive, you solve for one of the biggest pain point that most restaurants struggle with, which is consistency. Are you consistently getting orders, or are you passive? I'll get the order when I get the order. Let the powers be drive the order to me, either because of my location or the marketplaces, and hope and pray strategy. Hope I get enough orders today or this week or this month. But when you're proactive, you solve for the biggest pain point, which is consistency. Second, you fill a steady pipeline of potential orders. You may not get the customer ready today to order, but since you are constantly in touch, you're in top of mind, they may place an order next week or next month or tomorrow. And they will think about, you want to be the first brand they want to think about when that need arises. You want to outpace the marketplaces. Marketplaces are spending millions and billions of dollars to generate that traffic onto their site, which in turn is going to drive traffic to them. So on the onset, it looks easy. Yes, I'm just getting orders, but you're paying through the nose for those. And essentially, once you have that figured out, you have a system, you have built a system where you're consistently putting tactics and channels, focusing on channels to attract customers. Then out of those attraction funnel, top of the funnel, some will convert. And after converting those, you retain them, especially your high value ones. And we'll talk more about those. So you're not at constant mercy of the algorithm that is driving traffic to marketplace, and you have no control over it. So for long-term, so this is especially if you own multiple restaurants or if you're a brand. So now, knowing why demand generation is important, let me talk about an overview of demand generation strategy, and then we'll go into the four specific channels. There are three main buckets this falls under. One is inbound. And inbound first is paid ads. Uh, very few brands or restaurant operators do this. Facebook and LinkedIn are the masters of this. Obviously, sorry, Facebook is good, but it is good to drive awareness. Google and LinkedIn are really good at B2B, generating catering orders. So paid orders one. Marketplace also falls under this, but this is very expensive. In this case, you get the order, but you don't own the customer. So you are not doing customer acquisition, you're only doing temporary order acquisition. You play by their rules, good, you spend money on the advertising platform, maybe you get more orders, but you don't play by their rules, you don't get the order. You don't own the relationship. The second one we all know about is social media posts inbound. The usual suspect is Facebook, Instagram, but often big time ignored is LinkedIn posts. We'll talk more about this channel as well. Very critical for B2B, the executive assistants, the pharma reps, the coaches, the trainers, the managers, they all hang out here from a professional standpoint. So the second big bucket this falls under is cold and warm outbound outreach. The simpler one, many of you might be doing it, but if you're not, I would highly recommend it door to door, going door to door in your business district, neighborhoods, car dealerships, schools, buildings, dropping cookies and flyers with menu to say, hey, I am so and so from this brand. Here's our menu. If you ever need anything, we'll do it for you. We'll set it up and just have that connection. Once your flyer is in their drawer, whenever somebody says, hey, we need food for this meeting tomorrow or today, guess what? Who's they going to call the first one? They're going to first reach out to their drawer and your flyer should be there. The second is usually calls and emails. We have the NCC group on called the experts at this. They are amazing at doing this outreach. If any one of you haven't tried, I would highly recommend them. They are really good at reaching out to cold customers. And also part of this is also LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And we'll talk more about this. I would highly recommend if you all have never reached into this to look at this tool as an outbound tool. Again, this is often ignored, but is highly effective. And the last piece is your customer follow-ups. Pretty low-hanging fruit, customer follow-up, call them, email them, SMS, whatever works. But for this, you need to it is important to have a good CRM system in place. We know Omnicart has launched a really good CRM specifically focused on catering. So if you haven't tried that, reach out to Arya and his team. They've done an amazing job with building the CRM. One note here, the often ignored inbound demand generation tactics are ignored quite a bit, but I would highly recommend you to look into these. These are the leads from these are more effective because it represents higher intent. The prospect is actually looking for that. So when you're typing on Google, restaurants near me, catering near me, shoes near me, whatever else you're looking at near me, there is a higher intent at that point. That person is looking for a solution. So it's a higher likelihood of conversion if you show up there in the paid listing up on top. Just like how Easy Caterers spend so much money in showing up on the listing up on top. Um, One of the biggest tool out there is Google Ads to capture that intent. Google has 80% of search engine market. And on an average, if you spend $1, you'll get $2 in return, or 200% ROI if done right on Google Ads. You optimize for proper keywords like catering near me, sandwiches near me, breakfast near me, taco stand catering, whatever is your brand that you're offering. Box lunches is huge. And if you do not offer box lunches and are not targeting those keywords on your web page, and if you're running Google Ads, you're losing a big opportunity. So pay for those keywords, run Google Ads, and talk about those example and results. For example, you can have a punchline or a call to action. One office lunch, earn up to 6% cashback rewards when you order from your brand name. So throw in again as an incentive when you're using these channels. Why should they offer from you? Uh, that's the cherry on top. Yes, because we have the best food, we deliver on time. Add those things. Hey, always on time. Uh, Customize options. Earn cashback. These are the things that will attract the the person who's searching and capture that intent. And if it is hard to do it, there are many professionals you can hire. One of the sites is Upwork. Use Upwork.com to find them. Hey, I want to run my Google Ads campaign. Can I find somebody online? Try a couple of different people or companies on Upwork. But here's an example of when I ran it for my restaurant. I created different kind of uh, ads. I pointed out, 3% cashback, flavorful salads, dessert tray, soups, and basically focusing on the basics plus the cherry on top, the incentive. Here's an example of my results. These were the top keyword phrases that yielded me results. My clicks, my CTR, anywhere from 3 to 6%, which is not bad in a highly competitive environment. I spent about $3,500 over, I think I want to say 7 to 8 months. Um, and for over that 8 months, about had 16,000 impressions for catering. This I'm talking about catering specific. Um, and I got some really, really good orders from it. Um, but here's an interesting outcome of it. When done right, if you look at this, my ranking or your ranking when you would do it for showing as a preferred listing or paid listing on Google, you can show up above ezCater. You can, for impressions, if done right, you can show above ezCater, Grubhub, Jason's Deli, or DoorDash, or I mean, in this case, Jason's Deli was my competitor for sandwiches, so that's why it's listed there. But you can really drive home these points, and this is now you're owning the identity, you're owning that consistently being in front of the person when that intent is very high. That person is looking to place the order either today or within next 48 hours. So do you show up at that time? Um, and then once they click on it, you want to be driving them to some sort of landing page where especially if you're throwing in, hey, I have a cashback or I have 25% off or whatever your offer is, that when they land on that page, besides the food, which is the most important thing, the good pictures of the food, you're talking about the offer as well, the cherry on top, which is, it could be whatever it is, 25% off or 6% rewards. So that's the inbound Google Ads. LinkedIn can be used for both inbound and outreach. And the posts are very effective for creating brand awareness and getting inbound requests. For example, here, one of the franchisee for TMAD, Max, he does an amazing job of consistently posting about we did hair, we did these many orders today, we went to this place, and I spoke to him. I was like, don't you fear, you're putting all your clients, this car dealership, that hospital, that office, this dental place, that pet clinic, this university. He's like, no, there's so much out there, more than me worrying about competition. What I get out of that is extreme amount of publicity, and then other people start interacting, other restaurant operators start interacting. So I thought that was a very interesting take on this. That sometimes one may fear, hey, why do I want to reveal it? Where am I going? But the outcome is completely different. And guess what? It's so hard in today's day and world where so much is happening in everybody's life to take action. We all want to be. I wish I could. I want to do fill in the blank. But there are very few people who will actually take the action. So even if you put out there the results, unless you have a really good action-oriented team, it might be hard to outdo what somebody's already doing. So post regularly with pictures. Um, Again, they say businesses that post actively achieve 2 times more growth because of brand awareness and good for the inbound strategy. The second part here, which I was talking to you about, Sales Navigator. You have subscribed to Sales Navigator. It's a 199 per month subscription. You'll get first month free. Have your sales manager, catering sales manager, GM, yourself, whoever it is, start doing outreaches. Hey, I'm a local restaurant. Seeing that both of us are in this city, looks like you manage office for your lunches. Please keep us in mind. By the way, please see you can also earn cashback. Um, so just putting it out there in their mind, outreach, and we'll show some examples of the results, what happens when you start doing it consistently. Sales Navigator is really good for outreach and just helps you build the pipeline. Somebody, because it's an outreach, intent may not be there at that time, or you may get lucky, intent may be there. They're like, oh, perfect timing. I was just looking for it. I was thinking of placing an order within the next couple of days or next week. So here's an example of how posts should look like. Again, one of the amazing franchisees of Team Ad Drove, he consistently posts. Here is an example of 270 guest order, pictures, and clients who are looking this in conjunction with Sales Navigator. When somebody's trying to look you up, they're like, okay, this is exactly what I want. I was thinking of doing 350 people lunch. If he can pull off 300 people lunch, he can definitely pull 400 people lunch, right? Or whatever the case may be. And want to see how everything is organized in the boxes, presentation. Okay, I'm sold. This is who we are going for our big event. Same thing here from Liz from Nukes. Again, perfect execution, showing pictures of how everything is organized and placed, and gives more confidence to the clients who are getting exposed by the algorithm that you know uh, the restaurants are posting. Switching to outbound, when you're doing LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can do, once you start doing those outreaches, you can start getting replies like this. Hi, thanks for the touch base. I was thinking, here's my cell, let's talk. So we caught this person right at the proper time. There was an intent. In some cases, it'll be like, hey, I'll keep you in mind. In that case, now you throw the next kind of cherry on top. Hey, keep us in mind. By the way, when you place the first order, you're going to get $30 Amazon gift card or whatever your offer is, a gift card to our restaurant, plus 25% off, whatever you want to do. But in this case, we offer cashback reward, Amazon gift card. In this case, this person, Melody, already knew of our business because she works nearby, and she's like, hey, I need catering requirement for next month. We'll keep you in mind. And this was an interesting one. She had already ordered from us. So this was a pleasant surprise. And lastly here, again, somebody being aware where we are at will keep in mind. So this is sort of an outreach mechanism, $200 and your time or your team's time or your GM's time or your marketing or salesperson's time. Hey, you need to spend, let's say, 5 hours per week just reaching out to people in your area, following up, see how they are doing, and that's it. Um, so that's LinkedIn Navigator. Obviously, this is the platforms. Everybody understands this, but what I've realized is some people may not be aware. There is a PPP, which just like Google, you can pay for performance. You can choose to give higher percent back to these platforms like EasyCater, set from 2 to 20%, and it boosts your ranking or results or shows you higher in results. It does help to build brand awareness, especially during grand openings or during slow times. So you can play around with this to leverage to get more orders during slower times, especially if you're seasonal or if you're getting, if you're wanting to build your brand, out there. This is extremely important on those platforms as well. We've spoken to some operators and also customers who use these platforms. Some of them would not even order from if anybody's offering less than 5x points. They, in their search criteria, they'll say, I'm looking for a sandwich from a restaurant near me who's offering 5% and at least 5% or 4% and above. Um, so leverage these platforms to get your name out, get more orders. Everybody knows, but you pay through the nose for these. In some cases, you end up losing money. Um, uh, and and so the idea is, can you think about during your regular interaction offering some of these customers higher reward? Give them flyers to say, hey, order directly from us. We pay so much in commission, and if you order directly from us, it'll benefit us. But again, just be cautious, understand the terms and service of these platforms. You don't want to be getting in trouble with them, but at the same time, it's a balance between offensive and defensive. Um, so once you do that, on an average, you can save 18% from each converted customer. You know, assuming you're paying for 25% by the time you add all the different commissions, settings that you've done, and you're offering, let's say, 7%. That's a decent amount of saving per order. Obviously, you can't convert everybody, and honestly, these marketplaces have a good um, role to play in the ecosystem. But when you just 100% rely on them and do not proactively do anything about generating your own pipeline, then you are at their mercy, constantly being afraid. If you cancel one, will you lose your rock star reliability, stuff like that. And the fourth piece, really low hanging piece here that often gets ignored, is your own existing database. You can tap into that, and we call this database reactivation. So basically, what it is if you have an existing list of customers somewhere in your system, it could be easily findable, it may be hard, but put some effort or hire somebody who can again use those sites like Upwork and stuff like that. You can say, hey, here's my data, put them into proper list for existing customers. Use Excel, Google Sheets, whatever your tool is. Divide them into at least high level buckets, high value customers. So example, customers who order regularly, your pharma reps, your labs customer, they order quite a bit or used to order quite a bit, or whenever they order pretty big amount, but haven't ordered from you in let's say last 6 months. Or the first time customers who are ordering from you first time. If you, you know, pay pay a little attention on them and turn them into some sort of a loyal customer, whether it's using incentives or exceptional service, whatever the case may be. Once they've ordered from you 3 times, um, they are yours. You're on top of their mind. Now they know your food, they know how you execute, they know how you communicate, the basics, um, and so that's one area that often gets ignored. Create incentive for each one of them. What you don't want to offer the same incentive to all for the first time customer or the customer who's thinking about placing the order first time. It's different than your pharma rep or your lapsed customer. So think about a strategy to how you're going to reactivate them or activate them in case of first time customer. Upload it into a good CRM. Have a good CRM tool. There are many tools. Again, reach out to Aria. They have an amazing tool as well. So upload into a good CRM tool, and then reach out to these customers using those incentives to say, and as a reminder, hey, thank you for your loyalty, or just want to reach out. If you need anything, keep us in mind. Um, and if you do it in a very professional way, uh, everybody appreciates it. Or as you saw in case of the LinkedIn Sales Navigator messages, yeah, I was just thinking about placing the order, or we have an event coming up. You never know who you may catch. But again, this is how you populate your pipeline. So how does the plan of action look like at a high level? Pretty much starting with leverage your existing list. This is the gold mine sitting there. It is time consuming, so easy to ignore. How easy it is to get an order from marketplace where your profit margin is only 2%, but I'm okay, I don't have to do work. Versus here, so much work, so much analysis, who's going to do it, how it's going to be done, but 18% profit margin. So trade-off mentally is one is easy, one is hard, but on the books, in your P&L, it's the other way around. Pick one or two channels, paid channels, where the intent is high, and use a hook, whatever hook you have. Try different hooks. Run a test. Do it for a few months. Don't sometimes for catering it takes uh, 3 to 6 months to get some momentum going. I forever was stuck at 1% catering sales and did everything but consistently to where now 33% of my revenue comes from catering. Um, but from going from 1 to 33%, it was just day in, day out, and making sure the pipeline is always filled. Track new customers, again, repeat rate, average order size, are these things moving for you with the right incentive, and you'll have to play around. Again, looks on paper here looks easy, but needs some thought to it, some planning to it. But do not let the thought of, oh my God, this is going to be overwhelming, I don't have the skill set, too overwhelming. Start small. Start with maybe you only track new customers. Um, and maybe even that is hard. Maybe you just track my month-to-month catering. Am I at 1%? I have recently working with a franchisee for a long time. He was stuck at 6-7%. We worked together, and we were chatting a couple of weeks ago. He's almost at 15%. But again, consistent effort. Use reminders. Again, if you're using this is more specifically for points, sometimes people forget. A lot of times people forget their life is going on. Hey, get them to redeem those points, especially if you're offering something as good as cashback or Amazon gift card. The moment they see it's real for the first time, they'll remember, and the repetition of orders increases. Um, so this brings us to this big question: where should you spend your time, money, effort, energy, attention? Acquisition to acquire new customers, new orders, or retention? Um, and it was pretty well described by one of the prominent CMO online, um, Andrea Pelton. She is the CMO of Techstars. Techstars is an incubator, like a Y Combinator for um, startups. And here's the sort of high level gist of it. The acquisition cost, the acquisition at all cost is over. If you're spending money through the nose to just acquire, and it may be okay when you're doing grand opening, but on an ongoing basis, just spending money on acquiring at all cost, it's becoming too expensive. Um, and in today's day and age where there's so much distraction, pretty much if you're spending that kind of money at all cost, you're just filling a leaky bucket. Um, the costs have nearly doubled to acquire a customer compared to just 2 years ago. And here's an interesting thing where if you just spend this effort and there's a 5% increase in customer retention, your loyalty, you can see an increase in companies' profitability by at least 75%. So something to think about. We could spend all our energy and effort, but you've acquired a customer or a couple of customers through various strategies, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Google Ads, posts, Facebook. But where are you spending money to retain it, or is it just focus on getting the first order? So with this, I'm gonna go into a plug here, since I'm a founder of Catering Rewards, and Catering Rewards help with a lot of these things. This is just a couple of screenshots from our software, but we have features to attract first-time catering customers using cashback, Amazon gift cards, drive loyalty, repeat orders, win back lapsed clients, convert third-party marketplaces, again, give them higher reward, 7x, 6x, whatever works, and enable if you have a sales team or LinkedIn outreach to book office meals, give them just that cherry on top. We are integrated pretty well with the OmniCard, and if any one of you are thinking about um, looking at different options, new options, reach out to Arya or me. And this our software is good if you want to offer to everybody or offer to some. I was talking to a few months ago an Einstein Bagel GM, and they have something like this in their back pocket. They don't publish it online as a brand, but each GM has something like this in the back pocket where they try to incentivize the person who's placing the order to choose them. Obviously, they have big brand and execution strength going after them, behind them, so it helps. But when you do it effectively, as you can see in this subtotal line, you can see this is before taxes, tips, and any delivery fee. Large orders coming in. You'll see your average order increasing here compared to your direct orders without loyalty or marketplace order size. Um, so uh, just when you focus it properly, right incentives, it works. Take a chance. Take a chance on something new, trying something new. You'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you've never done Google or LinkedIn outreach or posts, try it. But the key is consistency, and when done right, it'll drive results. The easy way to see is set a goal. Maybe I want to push the needle by 2% over a period of 90 days, 120 days, whatever the goal is, and do whatever needs to be done in those 120 days. With that, I that's it from my side. It's if anybody wants to reach out, have any discussions, questions, brainstorm, anything, want to find out more, here's my detail. You can reach out to me, email me, or call me, or text me at this number, and I'll be able to answer any questions or queries you have. With that, I'm going to open it up to questions. I guess no questions. Arya, I don't know whether you can, are there any questions or not?
Thank you, Pri. This was really appreciate it. Do have a question myself. If restaurants don't want to use catering rewards as like the main rewards program on their online ordering, and they just want to have it in their back pocket to use it, how can they specify a customer and activate it for that specific customer?
Yeah, you can you can have them sign up. If you create a campaign, you can add that this campaign is only applicable to that customer. You can share that sign up link only with the customer. So it's up to you. Whatever you want to, just like your gift card program, like you offer sometimes gift card or buy one get one free or free lunch, whatever. You have those cards in the restaurant. Everybody has it in their back pocket. You can offer to your customers. So you can leverage that. But we have, as a software, we have um, system where you as a restaurant owner can sign up and say, this offer is valid for, let's say Arya showed interest. I spoke with him. Arya, I'm going to send you an invite. Now that invite is attached specifically to Arya, and only when Arya signs up using the email, he'll get those offer and will be automatically pulled in. So moving forward, whatever you've promised to Arya, hey, you're going to earn 3%, 4%, he's going to, every time he orders, he automatically gets it.
So basically, for example, I do a cold call. I talk to a potential customer, offer them 10% cash back in case if they use the catering service within the next month, and I go on the system and enable that customer for rewards. As easy as
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
absolutely. So you can have a public facing site so that you can just put a link out there because I want to offer this customer, let's say 5% cashback, but there could be a very aggressive pharma rep I'm trying to convert, and you can put a higher cashback amount. You want to say, this
Totally.
customer, when this person signs up, I want to give her 9% cash back, right? So you can customize and say who you want to offer cash back, how much you want to offer, or just open it publicly. Anybody who uses this just for awareness, I would
Yeah.
offer 3% cash back. So there's many ways to do it. I think a lot of it is just how creative you are, and kind of go from there.
Totally, because like it makes a lot of sense if you have a big um, marketplace customer and you're paying 15% commission for those orders. So if you want to convert that a big marketplace customer, offering them 10% cash back, you're still positive for 5%, right?
Yeah.
And that customer is winning too because that customer used to get 5% cash back at max from EasyCater and other platforms. Now they're getting 10% cash back. So everyone wins, and you'll have that customer as part of your first party clients, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you don't even have to pay that high. Sometimes it's,
Yeah,
it could be 6, 7, 8%, something as if
totally.
you have built a good relationship, your food is good, your communication is good. This is just converting that acquired customer into a loyal customer. And
Hmm.
now you're on top of mind. They're not going to order from you all the time, but they're going to keep you at least for big orders because they know that they're going to make the 7% cash back. So this $3,000 order, I'm going to use this restaurant versus the other restaurant.
Totally.
Because if you give 20% to make that deal, um, I mean, it's good to close the deal possibly, but when you give something that is incentivizing that person, then it's just better. And I mean, all these platforms have done an amazing job by offering this. And here's the funny thing: when you offer this on these platforms, you're incentivizing those customers to never order from you, right? When you say, I'm going to pay you 5% cash back on EasyKit or any other platform like these, you're telling that customer, do not order from me, order from only that place in a way. It's a better deal for you. Price is the same,
100%.
reward is
There-
better.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, I think I saw
There's
some
a question that just came
questions.
in.
Sure.
Yeah. So the question is, you mentioned LinkedIn Sales Navigator as a good paid service. Is this better than LinkedIn ads? Do you know the approximate cost to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator? I would like to utilize LinkedIn strategy better for my catering business. It's from Gerardo.
Yeah, so LinkedIn Sales Navigator is good. The cost is 199 per month. And um, it is better if you or somebody in your time or tag team have time to do this consistently, consistent reach out, follow-ups, scheduling meetings, just being there top of mind. It's a $200 cost, and especially if you have multiple locations in a given area, in a given, let's say 20-mile, 30-mile radius, it's even better because you're not opening that LinkedIn Sales Navigator per location. You're having one time. And even if you have different places, you can create different lists in LinkedIn Navigator. Let's say you have 10 restaurants in Phoenix and 10 restaurants in Colorado. You can create two different profiles, sorry, not two profiles, two sort of sales list and start outreach in Denver, start outreach in Phoenix, and start building those. And all those 10 restaurants that you have benefit from it. So yeah, great question.
Perfect. And I believe that was all the questions.
Perfect. Awesome.
Well,
Great.
thank you very much, Preet. This was amazing.
Uh,
Appreciate you
all
taking
right.
the time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for organizing this, and thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.